everybody, it's Osiris with 15 minutes to show. I hope everyone out there is staying safe, healthy, and prosperous. Although we are in COVID-19 and a pandemic, keep your minds high in thought and things will come to you. As you know, we love to do it live. So we have a very good, interesting treat for you today out there. We're actually going to interview some media friends of mine. However, they are a part of a larger organization in Paris, France, and it is called Entrée to Paris. They work with African American people that come to Paris that need guides, tours, etc. They also, you'll be meeting and talking with Monique Wells, the founder of Entrée to Paris, and they are actually launching today, March 8th, they're launching their first collaboration with the Wells Foundation organization and the Entrée to Paris Cultural Awareness Program to launch the first inspired virtual event. It's called Inspiration and Influences by Women. This is the story. Monique Wells, right? Monique is the head and founder of the Entrée to Paris newsletter. She and her husband do the newsletter, and then also she herself, as a very vigorous woman over there with lots of things to offer in Paris, France. She is the founder of the Wells International Foundation, also the Entrée to Black Paris Cultural Awareness Program, and they are forming a collaboration that we want to talk to her about. And I want you to give us the Scooby on everything that's going on in Paris, because it's one of my favorite countries and cities in the entire world. So let's wrap. Let's talk this.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It is, it's been a long time in coming. We've had a lot of stops and starts and everything. And so I'm glad that this is finally happening. And hello to all of your fans and followers and everything. I am coming to you direct from Paris, France. It is
6:30
p.m. A little bit after in Paris. So 9 hours ahead of California. And I am just thrilled to be here. So let me dive right in.
Please talk to us about it. We want to know more about what you're doing over there.
Yes. So the Wells International Foundation is actually a U.S. nonprofit organization domiciled in Houston, Texas, which is my hometown. But I have lived in Paris since 1992, and I'm getting ready to celebrate. In June, I will celebrate my 29th anniversary of living here, and I do have dual nationality. So I'm very, very, very much invested in and passionate about the U.S., the Black U.S. and Paris connection. And Entrée to Black Paris, yes, Entrée to Black Paris is a business that my husband and I started in 1999. We actually started under the name Discover Paris, but we rebranded to Entrée to Black Paris as we discovered that more and more our clients were African Americans and wanting to know about this incredibly rich history that the African American population has with France and with Paris in particular. And so when we began in 1999, I created several sort of in the can Black Paris walking tours, and they were all self-guided. So you got a little booklet and you walked around, depending on what you were interested in, you walked around and you got to see all of these places and you got to read about the people and things that happened there, etc. Fast forward to the Second Gulf War. People just did not want to do self-guided things anymore. So when we figured out that that wasn't just a passing fancy, we created guided walking tours, and we now have 13 guided walking tours of the African American experience in Paris. Some of them are theme oriented, some of them are person-oriented. We've done all of that. And when the pandemic came last year, about this time when it was announced that it was a pandemic, the borders shut down and we were not able to get clients here anymore. 99% of our business comes from the US. And so we were trying to figure out, how can we pivot? Pivot was the famous word for the pandemic. How are you going to pivot if you're in business? And we decided that we would do, well, let me just stop that story right there and let me go back to the Wells International Foundation, and then I'll show you how that comes together. So the Wells International Foundation, founded in October 2015. We got our approval from the IRS on October 1st, 2015. And the whole impetus for launching the nonprofit was to raise money to put on an exhibition, a one-man show of the art of an African-American man named Buford Delaney, who was born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, came to Paris in 1953, born in 1901, I should say, came to Paris in 1953 and spent the last 26 years of his life here. And the last 4 of those 26 years in a mental hospital. And I became involved with his story. I founded a French nonprofit to place a tombstone at his previously unmarked grave. And I wanted to do this art exhibition as what I thought was the ultimate way to honor him. So Entrée to Black Paris is focused on African-American history, culture, and contemporary life in Paris. The Wells International Foundation has one of 6 strategic focus areas in travel and study abroad. And we have another strategic focus area in the arts. And so we were able to bring all of those things together to do this exhibition. And Entrée to Black Paris and the Wells International Foundation are now partnering on a virtual Black Paris experience.
Wow, that's a great idea, by the way. I want to go to Paris, and since I can't travel over there right now.
Yes, exactly. And so we had this idea. It actually came out of a very serendipitous and very powerful experience through Black Lives Matter, if you can believe it, where an Australian gentleman who has an award-winning podcast in Paris called the Eiffel Tower.
The Earful?
The Eiffel Tower. So it's a play on the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
When George Floyd was murdered and Black Lives Matter just took on global dimensions, this man went to his fan base in social media and said, I want to support an organization for Black Lives Matter. Who can you advise me to contact? And he contacted Entrée to Black Paris.
Wow.
Okay. Yes. And he asked us if I could advise him on, what he might be able to do. He wanted to do this fundraiser, and he wanted Entrée to Black Paris to donate one of our walks as a prize for this Black Lives Matter fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I'm game. And he said, well, can you advise me on who I should support? And I said, no, I can't, because I don't know you. I mean, literally, he was just referred to me. I had never heard of him before. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't know you. I don't know, what you're passionate about. I said, I encourage you to just go online and just do some research. He contacted me, I want to say literally 24 hours later, and said, I want to support the Wells International Foundation. And we did he said, I think what you're doing is just fantastic. You have all of these areas. You're supporting travel and study abroad, which is obviously
what you do.
I'm into travel. And he said, and you've got this Buford Delaney thing going on. And he said, I want to support that. So he said, let's do a walk show. He does these walking tours of Paris himself, where he has his what do you call it? The
iPhone, yeah.
This little thing. And he just walks around and shows his fans different areas of Paris. And sometimes he does it alone, and sometimes he does it with a guest. So he said, walk with me, introduce my fan base to Black Paris, and we can use that to raise money for your nonprofit. And he did that, and we raised over $11,000.
Wow.
Yes, and this was within 5 days of me being introduced to him.
See, he's serious. That's serious right there.
He's serious.
Yeah.
And so he put this walk show on YouTube, and it's free for anybody to see. You can see it right now, the Eiffel Tower Intro to Black Paris. But we're using this Intro to Black Paris for our virtual Black Paris experience, and we are giving that, we're making a curated experience out of it. So instead of just watching the almost 2 hours that he and I did together, which is quite scintillating, I have to say, we have created a Zoom event where in the highest level, you will actually come into a space called the Sky Lounge, and there will be activities there. Then you will board a virtual plane, and there will be activities, or you get introduced to your flight crew, your captain, etc. You land in Paris, and then you do this walking tour. And instead of just watching the entire thing, we have segments, and the important segments, and then we stop the video, and people can ask me questions. I am the guide, and it's a live curated event.
Wow, that is probably, now, our show is only 15 minutes, but that is like everything that I was going to ask, and you explained everything. But a few of the questions that came up while you were talking, who in the city of Paris, is the city of Paris supporting your event? Are there foundations there that support people, women, organizations like yourself that are trying to do these kind of cause-oriented things? Do you have any support in that way? Because you're nonprofit, am I correct? Yes.
Yes. So Entrée to Black Paris, the for-profit business, is actually a member of the Paris Tourist Office, and the Paris Tourist Office has posted this event on the page that we have there. So in that sense, they are supportive, and we are talking with some other people at the Paris Tourist Office about having their support in offering this, marketing it through the Paris Tourist Office to businesses and to consumers, through their efforts to bring tourists and travelers to Paris.
And then are they helping you with global marketing or promotion, or how are you guys getting the word?
That's what we're talking about right now. So those talks are in progress. We've had 2 conversations so far, and it's a work in progress.
And so what the goal of your organization, which oh my gosh, I've wanted for the last 35 years. I probably haven't been to France in probably 35 years, but I was going to say, when you came on, I was going to say, comme ça va, ça va, bon bon. I love, it's just so, little, and I can still hear the sound of the accordions, on the street playing in the morning, and smell the fresh bread. When I was there, I was visiting a friend who was a dentist to very famous jazz musicians. So we got to go to the Bern Jazz Festival, which happens in Bern, Switzerland every year. He lived in Tavannes. So we weren't that far away, so we would just jump on the bullet train, get over to Paris. Now, the Saint Germain district in Paris, that's the art district, right? What are they doing these days? I still remember the Saint Germain district and the whole thing. So what's happening in those areas since COVID is that, because it's all about the arts. So what's happening? Are they protecting it over there? Or?
It's difficult. Saint-Germain-des-Prés has a lot of art galleries, and they have a lot of, excuse me, they have contemporary art galleries, and they also have a lot of African art galleries.
Yes.
And depending on your opinion, that's either a good thing or it's exploitative. But the art is exquisitely displayed, and it's for sale. Now, because of COVID, right now where we are is that businesses are open. You are able to go in. Depending on the amount of space, sometimes they will say, okay, only 2 people can come in at a time, or we're only open by appointment. So, you make an appointment, and then you can come in and have your private showing. That's what's going on in that area.
What I find interesting is that because of COVID, the kinds of things, and I'm saying this from actual fact because I'm in entertainment, the kinds of things that celebrities and stars used to have privy to is no more. I mean, they have money to afford one up, if that's what you're into, is I want to be one up above everybody else. But now Uber is available to anyone with the money. They don't care. You can be a person who lives in wherever, as long as you can afford to get in the Uber. But there was a time when those cars were only available to celebrities and people that were at a certain level in the community, your mayors and people like that. The other thing that I've seen that has leveled the field is that anyone can be online now and do anything. If you have support behind you, you have a strong fan base, they're looking at numbers. I think it's interesting that some people online are outdoing some of the celebrities number-wise. That's causing a bit of, it could be an ego thing, and I'm sure it is for some people because, like, you know, but there are no filters anymore. There's nobody guarding anything. You can take your phone now. I mean, I went to a press event, because I'm here in the media like yourself there, went to a press event. People were pushing the press people out of the way to take pictures of celebrities and stuff with their cell phone as if we weren't doing our job. We had to tell people we're doing our job. You can't just come up here in our space and take pictures of celebrities that we've got to take and get paid to do our job. So those are the kind of problems that I see going on in a lot of different ways. Now, you mentioned something interesting before we get your information, and you're going to tell everybody where we can go to find out everything. You're going to tell us more about where we can go to find out about Entrée to Black Paris newsletter, etc. Before we do that, what is your idea? What do you see the collaborative being between the U.S. and France? Because I've always wanted that. I wanted to do a thing to go California, New York, Paris. I've been wanting to do it for 35 years. Never found the people in the right mindset. Never find the people that understood what I was even close to understanding what I was talking about doing. And here you are. And how long have we been talking on newsletters and on the computer that until Zoom we would not be able to even see each other, and you're just beautiful. So talk a little bit about that, and then we're gonna, you know, get to your information, and we'll have you up and scurrying around because I know you got stuff to do. You know.
Yes. So, in terms of collaboration, I think you really need to look at private collaborations, because particularly when it comes to anything that is racially oriented, France is not open to that officially. France is a colorblind.
Yes, always has been. Always has been.
And so, and when we actually started talking with the Paris tourist office, it was one of the first questions that I asked, you know, are you going to be on board with this? Because this is not your quote unquote Republican, you know, type of thing. And the woman said, well, but you're talking about culture, you're not talking about politics. And so I don't really see a problem, but let me ask my supervisors, et cetera. You know, so all of that's, you know, that's a work in progress, as I said. But certainly, if you can find the right private entities, you can do anything.
Well, I'm in the States, and I love to travel. And I've traveled worldwide. I'm also a person, a veteran, so I've traveled in that way. And, you know, I've gotten to see quite a bit of the world in my young life. So again, everybody, you know, we gotta go. We love to keep talking to my wonderful friend and media partner, Monique of Entrée to Black Paris. You can find Monique and her cause, the Wells International Foundation at, go Monique.
WellsInternationalFoundation.org. Okay, WellsInternationalFoundation.org. And you can find Entrée to Black Paris at entreetoblackparis.com.
Yeah, it's called Inspire, though it's called Inspiration Influences by Women.
COVID-19 Pages, the influence and inspiration of women.
And what is that going to be about?
So it is the mission of this exhibition is to celebrate the essential work of women across the globe who are working to mitigate the effects of COVID-19. We know that women and girls are disproportionately negatively affected by the pandemic. We know that women and girls are disproportionately negatively affected by most things. And we are looking to celebrate the work that women are doing to mitigate this pandemic. And we have invited women artists, professional women artists, to contribute works based on this theme. And we're going to do a launch of the phase 1 on International Women's Day, which is March 8th. Yeah. So exactly a month from today. And in the second phase, which is phase 2, we are doing community outreach, and we are asking schools, K through 12 schools, youth groups such as Big Brothers Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Club, Girl Scouts, shelters, domestic violence shelters, other kinds of shelters, elder care facilities, prisons, to have women and girls contribute art in the same vein. In other words, to express their feelings about a woman that they know, or a group of women that they know, or maybe have heard about, maybe they've read about, maybe they've seen on television, but to express their feelings about this through art, and in doing so, to experience how art can be therapy in and of itself, releasing stress, releasing stress, releasing anxiety in the act of creating, and at the same time, celebrating women.
Now, there is really quickly to add to that, and everybody, it's called COVID-19 Pages, Influences and Inspiration by Women in the Arts.
It's called COVID-19 Pages, The Influence and Inspiration of Women.
Influence and inspiration of women. I mean, come on, who can't get behind that? So those of you that have emerging women, women that have emerged, women that plan to emerge, get the women on board. I myself am a professional artist. We do lots of things. Women are like, without us, we wouldn't be here. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to say it. Tell it the way it is. So, without us, we would not be here. So women in the world are extremely important. And so again, thank everybody for hanging out with us today. Oh my goodness, I got to hang out with my girl, one of my favorite media contacts in Paris, France, Monique Wells. She is, again, the founder of Entrée to Black Paris Cultural Awareness Organization, also the Wells Foundation, the Wells International Foundation.org. And don't forget to check out, they are launching March 8th, COVID-19 Pages Phase 1, The Influence and Inspiration by Women. Okay, so we got all of that in. Don't forget to check me out on YouTube. 15 minutes to show. Also go to my website, www.expressinabstract.net, to check me out and see what we're doing. Thank you, Monique. We'll do this again in the future. We'll
look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll come back and talk to you about the phase 1 and the phase 2 and see how that COVID-19 pages went. Okay.
Right, perfect. Love you. Love you too.
How do you say goodbye? Bonne soirée.